Hey guys, so it's been a while since I've been on here. Lost my Instagram for like 6 weeks, so big part of it. Law school's crazy, another part of it. But I'm back, and I am going to taste test some like random crossover foods today. One of them is this Cheetos mac and cheese. Fun fact, I was always known as the best mac and cheese maker of all my friends. High school, college, didn't matter when. I think it's because my brothers and I were always really obsessed with macaroni and cheese. And then I have for dessert these Reese's Chips Ahoy. I wanted to like find more crossover foods, but then I was like, we'll keep it to a smaller amount because it gives me more content for other videos. But the water's boiling, so I'm gonna do this quick. Also I'm using this like gigantic pot. Can't find the other one, so this is what it is. Yeah, I am really excited to try this. I ended up having to buy a 12-pack of it on Amazon because, well, I didn't really want to have to like search through a million stores, so I was like, oh, I'll just get it on Amazon. The only option was a 12-pack, so I now have 11 more packages of Cheetos mac and cheese, and I don't know what I'm ever going to do with them. So I love mac and cheese, don't eat it that much, but I'm really excited to try this, especially since pasta is probably a really good idea since it's July 3rd, and you know there's parties and such happening this afternoon, so give myself some good old carbs before I go and get crazy. Alright, so life updates since I haven't done a video. It's been a really long time. Wow. Lost my Instagram. That was a whole big thing. Realized that I have like 184 really true friends because they all followed my new account. I did end up getting my Instagram back, thank gosh, but it was like, I had to email the help people like literally every single day for 6 weeks. It was ridiculous. And it's so nice. But then it was like the end of the school year at finals, and then I decided to do a summer class, and that was like a lot of work. So yeah, now we have some time, a break, and we're gonna make more YouTube videos and talk about nothing. I don't really think that there must be some memorable things that have happened in my life recently, but can't think of any. So I feel like this is a good opportunity to tell embarrassing stories about myself. I'm not sure what just made me think of this, but this one time I was in Boston and I was like, oh sweet, I'm gonna cross the road where there's not a walk sign. I'm just gonna run so that I don't, you know, get hit by a car. So I run and I tripped on the T-tracks and bad. Fell, smashed my entire front of my body on the ground. Smashed my face, my nose, everything. I stand up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no idea. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing. I run across the street. I realized that like my hand is bleeding. Actually, it's this hand. My hand was bleeding. And like right here, my collarbone. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my nose must be gushing blood. So I FaceTime my mom. And I'm like, Mom, is my nose bleeding? And she's like, what? She's like, no. And I'm like, my nose isn't bleeding? And she's like, what happened? I'm like, I just tripped and fell on the T-tracks. I smashed my face. Like, oh my gosh, I'm like crying because it hurt so bad. And she was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I think so. People are like walking by me. I'm like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Like, trying really hard to not let tears out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Mom, I have to go. I see the people that I'm meeting, and this is so embarrassing. I'd never met them before. And so I hang up, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And they're like, oh, like, cool, whatever, let's go. And so we go to get in the elevator, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I realized I like couldn't stand up straight. I'm like, I think that you know, and I'm like laughing at myself, and they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, oh, I just fell. I tripped. And they were like, what? And I was like, no, yeah, like, completely wiped out. And they're like, are you okay? And I was like, just might need some Advil. Like, I had wiped, like, dirt off my chin, but thank God my face, nothing. I have no idea. I smashed my entire face. I was, like, pretty sure I broke my nose. I didn't. And so we get into, like, this apartment, and I'm like, I just need to sit down. So I sit down, and I literally couldn't stand up for more than 30 seconds at a time without feeling like I was going to pass out. So I'm texting my mom, and I'm like, I don't know if I can stay, but I also don't think I can drive home right now. Like, I'm so dizzy. I'm so, like, in so much pain. I was like, wow. I was like, I'm fine. So I ended up being like, yeah, give me a White Claw. So I am drinking this. We go to this, like, rooftop. I'm like, oh, I'm fine. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, like, everything is just blurry. Like, when you get a migraine and you see all those little, like, floaty things in your eyes. Yeah, times like a million. I was like, oh, this is not good. So I, like, pretended like I was fine. I have no idea how I pretended I was fine the whole night. I was so embarrassed I didn't want to tell people that I, like, had fallen and really hurt myself. So I just didn't. And then the next day, I went to dinner with my mom, and I was, like, drinking some espresso martinis, and she's like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm really not so sure. So I'm just gonna keep drinking because it makes the pain feel better. And she was like, oh, I don't think maybe you should be doing that. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I have a concussion. Yeah, it's fine. And that's just like, I was in sneakers and sober. So, like, that's just me for you. Like, my mom used to get afraid when I was a kid if I went skiing that I would break a bone, and I tore a baton and stuff, and she was like, I spent all this money. Like, no, you're not skiing, because if you break a bone and you can't compete, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I am way more likely to break a bone walking on the sidewalk in sneakers than I am skiing. It's so sad. I'm very, very clumsy at times, and that's all there really is to it. But that was painful. I actually totally 1,000% still have a scar on my hand from that fall. Still to this day, have no idea how I didn't break a nail, rip my jeans, scratch my purse, like nothing. None of that happened, and I have no idea how I got so lucky. Also, I can't open this packet. Okay, well, that's awkward. So, I always like to put my cheese and butter and milk in first. How much butter does it want? And go from there. I don't know why, it just seems like it works better. Maybe that's why I'm the best mac and cheese maker. I also don't really like to measure things that much. So I keep saying but anyways, I hate butter. But, like, I'll put it in mac and cheese because the recipe calls for it. It's kind of weird without it. Yeah, not a huge fan of butter. Kind of hate it. I'm using almond milk because that's all we have. I hope it's still good. Okay. Yeah, see, this is why I don't have kids, though, because I'm like, oh, I think it's still good. It's fine. Works for me. Oh, boy. Okay, the cheese is really orange. It's kind of exciting. Oh, I think that... I shouldn't have done that like that. That's okay. Okay. Well, so when I was a kid, I always thought that one box of Kraft mac and cheese was a single serving. Because, like, that's how we did it. If 4 of us were eating, we had 4 boxes of mac and cheese. 1 box each person. It wasn't until I was, like, literally, like, an adult that I was like, wait, you mean to tell me that 1 box is not a single serving? Joke's on me, it's not. But I still consider it a single serving, so whatever. I had a lot of things in life that I realized I was very, like, wrong about the serving size of as a child. Like, I also used to think an entire bag of goldfish was 1 serving. And it was a serving for me, but it's not technically a single serving. I was like, Wait, you mean to tell me all this time that I've been eating this, like, a single serving? It's not? And, so my brothers and my dad all, like, eat a ton. My dad eats a large pizza, and that is a single serving to him. So, like, I think growing up, I just assumed that the things that my family ate were single servings because they were to us. And then people would be like, that's not a serving. Like, who are you feeding? And I'm like, us, people. I'm like, I don't know. I just always make this much. So I found out later in life that I was very wrong. Didn't know what a nutrition label was, honestly. If the package said low fat, I thought it was healthy. And I ate the whole thing thinking that it was like really healthy. Okay, so it looks kind of cool. Totally Cheeto-ish. Very Cheeto colored in real life. It's hot. I'm scared. I'm gonna burn myself. Alright, moment of truth. Okay, this is really good. I feel like I don't know, but okay. I'll recommend it. I might actually want those other 11 boxes now. Also, now I'll try dessert. I won't maybe stop with the coffee. Ugh. So I learned this trick one time that if you heat these like for 10 seconds, these are really tiny cookies. Like, tell me that's not tiny. In the microwave, they're like gooey and delicious. So let's try that with this one. I love miniature Reese's. I love the Reese's eggs, like footballs, Christmas trees. Those are the best ones. You like can't try to tell me to eat a regular Reese's and be like, that's the best one. Like, no. That's why we don't have nice things. I get chocolate on everything. Okay, let's see. All right, I'll take it. It's pretty good. Highly recommend the heating it up thing. Oh, worth it. Well, those are both great. All right, next time, I don't know what I'm gonna try. Something else. I just love to eat, so like, actually last weekend somebody said to me, wow, you really love that orange chicken you're eating, don't you? I was like, sure, I mean, I just really love food. And then they were like, oh, well, like, most girls take a bite and they're full. And I'm like, yeah, not me. I don't waste food. Also, like, I don't share food very well. We were at this, like, girls' night the other night, and one of my friend's dogs came and sat next to me, and she's like, oh, he thinks that you're the weakest link. And I go, oh, little does he know I don't share food. So he's totally not getting it. Wow, that makes me sound horrible, but I just don't. I like to eat my food, and I don't want to share it. So, highly recommend Cheetos mac and cheese. Highly recommend. Less highly recommend the Chips Ahoy, but like always recommend the Chips Ahoy. So, can't go wrong. But the peanut butter or Reese's ones are pretty good too. So, that's all. I'm gonna have to get creative and make another video soon. I have no idea what I'll talk about, as always, and I probably will forget what I talked about in this video.